Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eduardo Del Boy, the Commonwealth CHOGM spokesperson, and it's my honor and privilege today to introduce to you the Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Patrick Manning, and His Excellency Kalamesh Sharma, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth. We will begin with a short statement by the Prime Minister, followed by a short statement by the Secretary General, and then we will take some questions. When we take your questions, would you please identify yourselves by your name and by your affiliation so we know who you are? And I believe there are roving mics in the room, so when I signal you out, please wait for the mic to come to you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Let me welcome all of you to this press conference, the local media and the media from the Commonwealth and elsewhere in the world. It's a pleasure to have you with us as we host this Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting here in Port of Spain. And I'm also pleased to have the very distinguished Secretary General of the Commonwealth with us. He's worked tirelessly to ensure that things go well in Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm pleased to report that together with our own National Secretariat, matters are now on an even keel and things are going smoothly, and in fact, the summit promises to be a very successful one. We've been off to a flying start. We've had the youth session. We haven't had a full report on that yet, but the business segment has also gone very well. It has been the largest business segment we've had in any Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. We had over 1,000 participants from not just over the Commonwealth, but also the Western Hemisphere and the rest of the world. There has been a lot of networking, and things seem to be going quite well. The heads have begun to arrive in Trinidad and Tobago, beginning with CARICOM leaders. Many of them came in yesterday for a caucus this evening. Others are coming in today. And we are set for the Queen's arrival this evening, Her Majesty the Queen and His Royal Highness Prince Philip. They come in at about 10 minutes to 3 from Bermuda, together with the British Prime Minister and the British Foreign Minister and other heads. Tomorrow morning, we begin the opening ceremony at 10 o'clock at the new, spanking new National Academy for the Performing Arts building, which I will invite you to have a very close look at, my dear friends. If I'm just to repeat what was said by the Chief Executive Officer of Shanghai Construction, the company that built it, he said it exceeds in technology the Sydney Opera House, it exceeds the Cultural Center in Shanghai, and it exceeds the National Theatre in Beijing. Those were his words. On the conference itself, we have a number of very important items on the agenda, and I imagine the one that is attracting the most domestic and international attention at this time is the whole question of climate change. And for that purpose, we are going to have a special executive session on Friday after the opening ceremony. And for that purpose also, we have invited some non-CARICOM leaders. The very distinguished Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, is going to be here. The Director General of the UNFCCC, he's also going to be here. The Prime Minister of Denmark, the chair of the Copenhagen meeting, is going to be here, Prime Minister Rasmussen, and also the President of France, President Sarkozy. They will be associated with us in our discussions on climate change, and we hope by the added weight of these voices, together with the voices from the Commonwealth, we hope to arrive at a political statement that can add value to the process that will culminate in Copenhagen early next month. In addition to that, the Civil Society Forum is off, as I said, the Youth Forum. We have also on the agenda the question of non-communicable diseases, which arises out of an engagement in CARICOM 2 years ago, where we had a summit for the first time in Port of Spain. There was a Port of Spain Declaration on Non-Communicable Diseases, and we took note of the rising importance of non-communicable diseases in the lifespan of individuals, both in the region and elsewhere, and the need not only to bring this to the attention of domestic audiences and domestic populations, but since it is of a worldwide nature, we believe that it ought to gain worldwide attention, and we are proposing a summit at the highest level under the auspices of the United Nations. Those are two critical issues that we have on the agenda. I'm sure that there are others, but I think I've spoken enough. We have the very distinguished Secretary General with us.
Prime Minister, thank you very much. It has been a marathon, which we've been running, and I join you in expressing appreciation for Dr. Rodriguez, with whom we've worked so closely and for so long. I want to express my appreciation to you personally for the access you've always given to our teams, to myself, and I think the results are there to show for it. And it was a marathon, but I think we've entered the stadium now, and shortly we're going to run up to the finishing line. There's this much I would like to say about Trinidad and Tobago as a host country. It's not an easy thing for a small country to take a huge investment decision of this nature. It's the speciality, I think, of the Commonwealth that although it's an organization of small member states, our small member states do take this decision. But more than that, it's a huge investment in political will and faith in the Commonwealth and what the Commonwealth can achieve. So I hope that Prime Minister, the people here would recognize that the world's knowledge, the world's experience and opportunity are coming to Trinidad and Tobago. More than 5,000 people in a globalizing world. We cannot afford to be detached from the rest. It's an investment in the future. The preparations are as complete as they could ever be. As Chair, Prime Minister, you'll be able to guide the Commonwealth in the 2 years to come in the directions you feel appropriate for the Commonwealth, whose ethos in any case is based on inclusiveness and being particularly mindful of the interest of small states. As for the issues coming up, the Prime Minister has mentioned some. We are in an organization of our times, always have been an organization of the times in which we have existed. And in the work we'll be doing, we will be expressing ourselves as an organization of values. This is the 60th anniversary of the modern Commonwealth. Looking forward to the network of election commissioners, how our Commonwealth Ministerial Group can enhance its work in issues like that. We'll be looking at partnership, which is the theme of Prime Minister Manning, equitable, sustainable partnership. We'll be looking at the youth, particularly what value can we bring to them, what resource can we bring in options which are given to member states, in what way can we do their skills development and the coherence which is required in the work of the youth, and how partnership can be further advanced by means such as using the technology that is now available and making a network in which all the strands of our cooperation can be incorporated. With these words, I think I will stop, and Prime Minister, if you agree, we can take some questions.
Thank you, gentlemen. If you will, we have time for a few questions.
Clint Chantak, Newsday, Trinidad and Tobago. Prime Minister, could you indicate to us, you mentioned some of the issues that will be addressed at CHOGM, but how will the CHOGM also address issues such as the controversial statements by the President of Gambia against human rights persons in his country, which seems to be creating some furor among other member states, and also a recent anti-homosexuality bill, which is causing some concerns between Uganda and Canada? How will the CHOGM address those types of issues, or seek to address them, and in so doing not lose sight of some of the other objectives that it hopes to achieve?
Well, the statement by the Gambian president essentially related to domestic matters in Gambia and really forms no part of the agenda of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting.